All right, let's do a little sound check here. See if you guys can hear me. Put in his ticket. Oh, maybe. So it's weird. So I have it set to dark theme now instead of light theme, and I'm like, wait, where is it? Where's Twitch? All right, cool. All right, so first things first, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you guys are doing awesome. This is our first broadcast of 2020. So it's pretty interesting. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever streamed before or anything like that, but you always get some type of a summary. And it was pretty interesting. I think when I was looking at it, I don't even remember where the window is right now. Um, yeah, it's in one of these blanks somewhere. Um, Basically it gives you like you my Twitch summary, and I think we broadcast like 146 something hours last year. It was pretty interesting. You can see like we took the summer off for the most part. We were strong in the beginning of the year, and then again picked it up back in August of last year. So it's pretty interesting. So one of my goals this year is actually to get on stream more, and particularly in morning times, or during news, or have different sessions where if I'm just sitting there trading, bring back some of the other strategies as well. Jump in there and maybe do some 5 minute, blocks where I'll just basically get in there and grind out some 5 minute strategies. Um, but the goal is to get on stream a bit more this year. Obviously, when I have free time, spring gets a little bit hard with the boys having lacrosse and everything and being pulled away with that. But there are definitely times that we can get in there and do some things as well as increase my video content. So hopefully you guys will notice that I was missing for the most part for the last week. And again, that was done on purpose. I typically always try to take as much time off as I can and don't be anywhere close to the computer just to kind of unwind and kind of disconnect for a while. Disconnecting is always good. You always come back with kind of a refreshed kind of outlook on everything. And just, again, I've always found that it's been very helpful for me. So I know some of you guys were asking questions, and it was awesome to see some of you guys making some profit over the Christmas break. I just know for me, and again, again, I trade my plan. You guys know that I'm very, very big on having a plan and trading your plan. My plan is, holidays. That's for the family. So not that you guys aren't family, but I don't get anywhere near the computer if I don't have to. So goal is we are back now, so you guys can start popping questions in, and I want to kind of expand what we're doing in here. Again, expanding the profit. This year, as you guys knew last year, one of my big focuses was really kind of going home, driving home the funded trader program and getting as many of you through the funded trader program as possible. Mike had some absolutely amazing results, and I think he's going. And again, that was in the trial of the program. I recommend that everybody test the trial to make sure they understand everything first before they put some money into it and go live. And I believe Mike's going live. Carl's already live. Um, there's a few other people that are on their way to doing it as well. So the goal is to get 100 funded traders this year through. And it doesn't matter which program. We have two different programs that we're currently using, but the goal is to get 100 funded traders through. And I'm gonna make kind of like a website for it. There'll be an entire web page, kind of a hall of fame of our first 100 funded traders. So it'd be pretty exciting. Like I said, Carl's already been through. Carl basically gets funded over the weekend in his sleep. The guy's been funded more times, and it's like, oops, I made a mistake. I'll just get funded again next week. But again, I want to make sure that everybody gets to that same level. And there's many of you that I've talked to, worked with, and I know we're going that route in this new year. Yeah, Ryan, we're gonna get yours finished up. We have to get yours finished up so we can just be done with it, so we can stop paying any type of fees in there for you. Um, Again, hopefully January, now that we're back into actual like real trading again, not the low volume holiday trading, everything will pick up and kind of make sense for you. So, um, and again, remember the mentality here is keep things simple. So, looking at today, obviously didn't expect a lot of movement. I mean, everything was basically shut down today. You see, across the board, the biggest mover was the Swiss, about 20 pips, and basically it was $1. So didn't really expect anything. Really, tonight is really about kind of setting up where we go tomorrow, right? Looking into tomorrow, basically the only real bit of news we have on Thursday is this final manufacturing PMI for the pound, which again could offer us some potential trading opportunities. Not necessarily, the best release in the world, but again, people are, they've had the vacation, they have the bills, now they want to start making some money, so we may have some movement tomorrow. And again, we'll go over this tomorrow night, but you're looking into Friday. Friday's where we get into some of the ISM manufacturing, the FOMC meeting notes. Again, random day, right? I mean, how many times do we see crude oil on a Friday, right? Or FOMC meeting notes on Fridays, right? And just because it's the first of the year with the holiday and everything, so little bit different, right? I plan to go into the next two to get talent back. I'm trying to catch up. There's a lot more. odd countries: Austria, France, Spain. Yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily big movers. Like France, yes, France has the potential to do it, and like I said, I mean, I can go here and say, okay, let me add the low, and then yes, you can see all this stuff. French, German, Italian, Spanish manufacturing, and all these, but these are typically pretty low ones, right? And again, even unemployment claims for the U.S. But again, the markets are still kind of coming back online. So yeah, you can go to the lower ones, but that doesn't mean they necessarily are. Okay. Um, Now look at the scanner again. Everything is still coming online. So we are. By the way, the bird is now. I'm kind of sitting in a chair, kind of weird with the knee up, and the bird is sitting on it. So if the bird sounds extremely loud today, the bird really wanted to kind of get out there and say hi to everybody. This is not even the squawky bird, and she came over and or he, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, decided to come on, sit literally right in front of the microphone and start chirping at it. So, hello. I was gonna see if she'd say hello, but I guess not. She's not. I guess she can talk, but I guess they're lazy, so they don't like to talk. Um, But anyway, but again, look at the scanner. You guys can see really right now everything is more or less kind of a mix across the board. There's a few things, the dollar swishes and a downtrend setup. Again, we're seeing it pull back today, so we can kind of go over there and look at that one. That's giving us that on the daily, the 4 hour, and then the 1 hour is giving us the uptrend setup. You're seeing Euro pound, Euro Swiss again giving us that downtrend setup. Again, there was some dollar strength. I'm sorry, some pound strength. Not necessarily surprised by it. Kind of seeing that there. And again, a lot of sideways consolidation for the euro on the middle time frames. We do have some confirmed, but versus the Aussie, New Zealand, the dollar, and the yen, it's all just kind of just consolidated, right? Again, the markets are, will they be coming online tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to see some movement. You see, the Canadian basket, you can see, being the minor pair there, the Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD. Again, uptrend setup. The reverse would be the CAD Swiss. Again, these are kind of hybrid pairs, bigger spreads right now. Not necessarily probably the best idea. CAD yen's giving us a potential setup, although that chart looks pretty funky right now. Again, this is kind of a weird thing because you're going to get all kinds of like little funky gaps and different things are coming online, and it's kind of an odd time. So I don't even play my gap strategy because it's not necessarily Sunday. It's not a normal rotation. It's kind of one of those special exceptions for things, right? Inside of the Aussie basket, same thing, mixed bag. I mean, right, it's very rare that we just see a trend in one direction. You guys can see how that's kind of pushing off. And then again, over here in the pound basket, kind of the same thing. Again, we have two downtrends. A little bit of consolidation. The only thing that we have is pound yen is up, with a setup. But again, the two lowers are kind of funky, right? Like I said, markets are not really fully open. Everybody is still celebrating the new year at this point, and it's getting a little bit weird. So again, the scanner is that'll come more online tomorrow morning. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Okay. With that being said, actually, let me see if I can pull this up over on this other page too. You know what? I'll just do it this way. Let's go over to the chart section here. This down, and I can move this and this up. I wanted to show you some of the updates. Let's see. Go. Not ideal here. Let's see. File the windows. All right, so this is just different testing that we've been doing. As you guys know, I've tested a bunch of different variations of this. I think this is the most recent one. And I just wanted to show you guys some of the options that we have going right now. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't really make it much bigger on there. But hopefully you guys can see that sitting in the middle of the screen. I wish I could make it bigger, but unfortunately. Anyway, if you guys can see this, these are the current options we have in there for colorization. When we updated it, obviously I had to reset the colors, but this is the actual, yeah, this is the KTS gadget. Yep, this is actually the trend. This is actually the trend tool. This is something that I found would be helpful for you guys. What it's doing is it's pulling from two different areas. As you know, I've been testing it for about the last 3 weeks, and I actually have Ernest helping me test it as well now. He was just chopping it a bit, and I couldn't, not, like I said, he's such a big supporter and helper in the community, so I actually sent him in a limited release of it to help me beta test it just to get some more eyes on it. And he's testing this trend state one right now. And basically what it's doing is you guys see in the upper corner, it's giving us what the current trend state is based off the candle. It does scroll back and forth. It actually will work with the zone tool as well. And again, different options in here. This is my favorite part about it is you have a different way to kind of set what your time frame is. So you guys know how we use that 6 times multiplier. Well, we have the ability to automatically have it change, or you can actually set it and then scroll around to different time periods, and it will pull the trend state from a particular time frame. So very, very handy tool. A very talented individual is programmed this for me. He's part of the community, and you guys should see him around a little bit. But very, very talented. Can't say enough about the guy. But again, he put this in here where you can use the current, which will always do a 6-time multiplier. The automatic, you can basically change it around. Or again, obviously you can set on different things. I spent a lot of time on the 4-hour. But really, really nice stuff. Like in the example, it's like right now it's telling us we have an uptrend setup. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. But basically it's telling us we have an uptrend setup using the 30-minute and 4-hour. And I just happen to be on the 30-minute chart, but it's pulling the trend state right now from the 4-hour. And you see how it coats the candles? Right? It's pulling the candles. So, and again, this is the supply and demand tool, which I'm still, it's working pretty well, but there's different settings for it that I'm testing on different periods. But yeah, so right now it's basically telling us there's an uptrend setup right now on the pound CAD based off the 30-minute and the 4-hour. So kind of some cool stuff in here, right? James, it did cost him like 1,000 pip chips, so don't let him think it is 100% free. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't charge any pip chips for it. But I figured I'd give him, now that he's not working anymore, now that he's doing this full time, I figured he'd have the extra screen time in, and he'd be able to give us a hand to make the tool ready faster for you guys. I'm hoping to have it out, and then probably the next goal is the next week, 2 weeks. We will have this one free, or this one available. It's going to definitely be a purchase because, again, I had the programmer, there was cost putting into it. So there will be a cost to it, guys, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. It just, bird just flew around and then landed on my head. That was nice. And then again, you guys looking in here, couple different things. Actually, you can just do it this way. You guys can see the supply and demand indicator as well. There's different tools in here that we're messing around with. It's supposed to identify gaps as well. But what it's doing and what I like about this one so much, and again, I want to keep you guys up to date. I want to keep you guys as transparent as possible with these things. What I'm liking about this is it is finding zones that have a very explosive nature to it, okay? Like, again, you guys can see the zone that it picked out down here. Due to the way that it left the zone, that's why it picked this zone out, okay? What we do is one of the settings that we're messing with it. And again, what I'm finding is there's not a standard setting that works for every single pair. Okay, so what I'm trying to compile is finding the correct settings for each individual pair, because based off the volatility, you will get different types of spikes and different type of reactions to things, as well as the gaps are a little bit different. Okay, so what we're doing is we're having it find zones that are really high quality zones, that are fresh zones, that are having really explosive nature. So it may miss some small ones kind of, sitting in the middle. And again, this is what the current is. I can go back. I can go back and anywhere and start pulling some zones, from in here, but what it's doing here, you can see this one. It's pulling really, really high quality zones. Now, as price goes over, you guys can see, like I said, I don't remember what the setting is for this one. You guys can kind of see it's pulling great areas, okay, that you should be looking for anyway, okay. Back. Like I said, so I think it will be very, very handy. And again, this one has not been adjusted. I just threw this one back on there. Actually, that's where its current setting is right now. So it's actually showing we're in an area of bias right now. Sorry about that. I think you guys lost my sound there a little bit. The bird ended up hitting the mute on the microphone. I made the pictures bigger. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Go ahead, bird, get back in there. That's funny. The bird actually hit the mute button. But anyway, so what it's going to do is hopefully, guys, it will make it a little bit easier for you guys. Again, I'm working on the sheet to figure out what the ideal settings are going to be for each of the individual pairs, for the multipliers, for the supply and demand tool. But as far as the other one goes, it's pretty standard. I've actually built a template for you guys as well. I don't know if the template is on this one or not. Let me shrink this one back down. So like here, this was one we don't talk about. Pound Singapore dollar, I'm building templates for it as well. So you'll actually have the option to just grab a template and it'll automatically put it in. And again, it has the ATR tool. This little thing in the upper right-hand corner, if you guys can see it, this is the close and the spread at the moment. This is one of the additional tools. And then for those of you that hate server time, I actually have an indicator that displays local time on here and shows me what the time is right now based off of wherever you're located. And again, you can change the offset and the time on it. It makes it much better because I can't stand the server time. Because you're like, wait, what time was that? When was that news? What session was that in? Stuff drives me nuts. So I found another tool there. So I'm actually building a template for you guys to make it a little bit easier. This template doesn't have everything inside of it, obviously, though. I don't know what that one is, but that must have been the old one that I didn't pull off yet. So I'll need to pull some additional things in here. But you guys can kind of get an idea of where this is going. All right. So going back, and again, we're still going to be using obviously IG charts for today. All right, so obviously there's not a lot of market movement. Really, the best thing we can do right now is kind of go back and look to kind of see where we are on things. So, question came up in particular with Carl. Now, also, let me see. It's in one of my windows here. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Is it this one? Yes. Let's see if I can hit preview. All right, so many of you saw this, right? Many of you got in there and signed up for this, the weekly test of the Sunday releases. And again, we'll be out this week. This will be the last week that it's free, probably just because I don't have time to in the next 2 days, because I didn't do any work over the break. I haven't gotten it all in there. So it is divided out now. You guys can see that it is divided into multiple sections now. Each of these has their own individual section. But one of the things that came up on here was basically location on the daily curve of where we are. So for those of you who don't remember what the curve is, again, I talk about it, but I don't highlight it a ton. It's kind of it's one of the things that I look at, but it's not the biggest thing, but it's one thing that I will put in there, and I do subconsciously anyway. Basically talking about where we are on the curve is giving us kind of where our bias is, whether it be to sell. And again, if you guys remember this or not, right? Remember we used the fib tool, right? And we changed the fib tool around, and we used the top 30%. So basically what we're doing is you can use something like a fib tool, which is, where's our fib tool in this one? This one? Yeah, and I don't know how much we can actually change inside of IG here. Basically, any fib tool would work, right? Oh, come on. I don't really care what where the percentages are, right? Yeah, so what you can do is you can actually kind of click some of these things off, and you can literally just put in a 30%. You can put in let's put this one in at 66%. Like that one, 33. Change those lines to here. All right, and what that'll do is that gives us kind of an idea of where the zones are. So it's kind of hard to see in this example here. Let's just blow a lot of these lines up. We can always put the lines back on. Okay, but what you can, let's see, pull that one off. I think that's all the lines, yeah, because that's where current price is. So basically what this is saying is when we're in this area here, we're more likely to be looking for shorts. When we're in this area down here, we're in an area where we're looking more for buys. Okay, so that's kind of what the definition of the curve is. In this middle is kind of no man's land. I know you guys have heard me talk about no man's land before. That's kind of what no man's land is. All right, it's an area kind of in between. It's not at the highs, it's not at the lows. It's in an area that we have kind of really no direction. Obviously, price will go through and go from one area to the other, but in that area, you know, typically we're at the very, very top of the curve on the daily on your high or whatever your highest time frame is. It's not necessarily something you want to go long for, right? Same thing at the bottom. When we're at the bottom of the curve, it's not necessarily the area where we're looking to go short on, right? We're typically a little bit more biased to go long there, and that's all the curve is, guys. That's nothing too much crazier than that. Yeah, trading the wasteland in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it's not there's not trade setups in here, but it's kind of like one of those things that the more that you can do this, it stacks the odds in your favor. So that's just if you heard me talk about the curve or where we are in the curve, that's what I'm talking about. And again, and again, this is my fault. I confused Ryan on it because I talked about using the fib tool. Yes. How did I draw these lines? I used the fib tool. It had nothing to do with Fibonacci whatsoever. But what I did is I used the tool because it's based off percentages. And I basically needed to take fresh supply and demand and mark off the area. And I needed the top 33% and I needed the bottom 33%. So all I did was I used a tool that used percentages, which just happened to be a fib tool, right? Because you guys know I'm not a fib person. It's just too much. I mean, even over here, guys, if you see you see my fib tool right here, if I click my fib tool, does that look like fibs to you? No, you know what this is? This is my risk to reward ratio, right? I have it set. So say I was looking to take say I was looking to go long if we hit this area right here. Oops. Say I was looking to go long here. There would be my risk to reward ratio. There's my 1, there's my 3. So that's how I use my fib tool inside of MT4, okay? If you guys want, I can shoot you the custom code for that, or I can do a video and put it on YouTube as well for it. But that's how I use it. I don't use it for the fibs. I just use it for, again, drawing at things based off percentages, right? But that's it. Yeah. So right now, here's my 1. There's my 3. And again, you can adjust it by, changing the fib tool around. Like I can move it. I can make it bigger. But you see my risk to reward ratio moves by itself. And then I can, move it anywhere I want. If I want to go here, I could go to here. Just an easy visual. Everything you do, you look to the left, Ryan. I mean, like in this example here, basically this is where the high was, right? So I know we have, areas that are high. This is obviously going to be, we put in a lower high at this point. So I know there's going to be sellers up here. So I know we're in the top section, right? On the bottom, right? I mean, I can use this area. Again, we've seen it bounce off of it. So I know that I have fresh supply sitting, or fresh demand sitting right here. But I could technically use it all the way down here if I wanted to. I mean, I could, oops, cancel. It's going to be harder to grab the fib tool when there's things on top of it. I could technically down here. I mean, it doesn't change it too much. Clicking, so I'm still used to MT4 at this point. I could technically do it this way. Okay. And it's no different. But it's basically one of those things. Now, does this mean, now just so we're on the same page, does this mean that price cannot break out of the top of this thing? Of course not. I mean, you definitely go higher. I mean, that's just near term, right? I mean, I could pull this back and say, okay, well, wait a second. Man, it's all the way up here. Yeah, it is. But I mean, you can see that the last time price was up in this range right here, it's, again, this is a fresh area, right? We just put a fresh area in here. Look to the left. Yeah, you're dealing with this. If you want to extend the top, you could do the top a little bit higher too. We could say, okay, well, there's a gap here. We know there's, we know there's definitely some sellers there, so we can. Oh, I'm gonna keep grabbing the wrong thing. I could put it here, and then it's the same thing. Okay, you want to look for good levels of supply and demand above and below. Okay, so we're still in an area where we're looking to go short. Yeah, it's just a guide. This is not like a hard and fast rule. Like if it's sideways, move on. Okay, it's just one of those things that helps stack the odds in your favor a little bit more. All it is. Okay, nothing crazier than that. All right, so let me delete all this stuff off here. I pulled all those shapes off and everything like that. All right. So based off of where we are right now, again, you can see we have put a lower high in. I don't really put too much stock into this right now because, again, this is all over the Christmas holiday. There were people pushed up. There was a couple, different trades you could take out of this position. Really, what I'd be looking for right now with price being in this area, the next time we have anything is really kind of sitting up in this area right here. And again, this is a gap area. Okay, last time we hit this area, price did move off of it. So we're looking at basically around 77.92. Again, you guys can see it's a bit up there. It's really the first time we have anything clean based off of this one. Now, where price is right now, we're kind of in this area. There's a little bit of a step right here, but again, there's a bit of a gap, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's it's not bad. I mean, again, this was back in May 12th of last year. So, again, a bit far. That's the first time we have anything clean. Now, looking at down on the 4 hour, again, this gives us a little bit different of a picture. You guys can see, again, we've had this, consecutive kind of push, and then bam, the gap from the holiday. So, typically what I like to do is I like to see us starting, getting some momentum and starting, I want to start using supply and demand zones that are created now, if that makes sense, versus things that were created during a time when we had low volume and really no central banks doing anything, right? You want to get zones that are starting to be created. So I'm on the lookout for new things to be created. And again, that's why I kind of want the next 2 days to happen. And then I want to get the established gaps for Sunday off of that. So we'll see. I probably won't trade too much stuff tomorrow. Maybe some smaller term stuff in the morning, but for the most part, I will still probably be watching to kind of see kind of what's coming out. I'm going to start marking zones off tomorrow, and that's kind of my game plan for then. Because again, I want everybody to come back online. Again, I want all the new money to get back into the markets. Because remember, there was nothing open today, right? Nobody was placing trades today. Tomorrow is when all the money comes back in again. So everybody sold everything, and if you want to reestablish your positions, you have to do that tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of first rush of money happens and how it unfolds, right? As all the new positions are being kind of accumulated, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for there. Downside, again, yeah, you're looking at this area below. Again, I think it's important to note that, again, we did have an area that kind of pushed back down again and immediately turned and popped. God, what? I don't know what's up with the birds today. Here, want to come back out again? You can come back out, but stop making so much noise. Man, they're like crazy today. But for the most part, nothing really stands out to me as being, oh, this is just great. And like I said, everything else in here is just created during kind of the blah, right? The drama. Nice little kind of base here. Little basing area down here at 76.12. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down again tomorrow and use that as kind of an area to start, kind of establishing and pushing off of. But like I said, this Australian market is really just opening right now, so we'll kind of see where it goes. Looking at Aussie New Zealand, kind of the same thing. This one has a bit of a gap, a little bit over here. Let's clean some of these lines off. There's something sitting in here, maybe worth a little bit more investigation. We get a little bit close to it. We're a bit far from it right now. And again, we do still have this bottom section down here. On this lower time frame, you can see we have this zone, which is still valid. And that is at 104.90, basically 104.90. A little bit of a base level here as well. You guys can see that this actually wasn't a horrible zone. And that actually served as a kind of a sell point, right? Over in here right before Christmas, to push that to the downside. So shows us there's definitely some sellers in there as well. Again, maybe worth noting where that is. I don't know if anything that we have is going to get us up to that area, but definitely kind of mark that one off. And again, bottom side, you guys still have this 102.72 that you should be marking off on this guy. All right, so that's kind of where we're boxing. Again, we're smack in the middle of these two areas. Not really looking to do much with it right now. Aussie dollar. What? You want me to pet you or just going to bite me? What? Go ahead. You can bite me. Go ahead. This thing's crazy. She wants to be up, and then she's like, no, don't touch me. I'm going to stand on you, but don't touch me. What? What? She didn't get too much attention over the holiday, so. She's, unfortunately, she's a little bit nippy with the type of bird she is, and the boys aren't the biggest fans of her because she's nippy. All right, so let's pull this back. All's good. All right, so you guys can see where we are on the daily on this one. We have a supply zone at 70. What is that? 70.44. And again, we're pretty close to it. We'll see if we're able to get some type of a pop. Maybe willing to take a short into that area. Let's see if we can shrink it much over here. I don't think we can actually. Maybe too far back. Yeah, we can shrink this down a little bit. Shrink it to there. That puts us at about 25, but that's kind of a big area. So we'll see. We'll see as we get a bit closer. I don't think we're going to be able to pull much out of back here. Leave it at that. So that's going to be our zone if we can get up into the area. And that zone is between 70.63 and 70.81. So a little bit under 20 pips at this point. 18 pips. Not too bad on this pair. Okay. Looking at pound Aussie. Hey, what are you doing? Go ahead. You can keep pecking my hand. It's not going to do anything. Yeah, she trolls the boys. It's kind of funny. All right. So look at this one. This was an area, again, we talked about two different sections. This is a little buying area down here at 186.17. And again, we weren't able to actually get down to it. We came to it. We ran into a little bit of buyers. It popped over, gapped over. Again, not able to get there. I still think that's probably a valid area, so definitely keep that marked off on your chart. That is done off of this daily zone right here. You guys can see this rally base and then rally again, popping out at 186.17. And last time we hit, it went into it a little bit and then had this big kind of rally off of it. And then the fall stopped right before. So we definitely got some buyers below. Keep that marked off. If you're looking to jump into this one, not a bad zone up here at 190.64, but it's also not the best. We'll see what happens when we kind of get this this bit of it filled here and we start getting some momentum in this one. I wouldn't trade this one for the news release. A little bit too much volatility and not enough volume, unfortunately, in the markets yet. Euro pound. Oh, you took the bigger pictures. Yeah, the old slide. Q, it's so funny that you still have that slide shot. So funny. Oh, that's great. The best thing is it says 2011 on it. And the person that created that gets absolutely no credit for it. All right. Looking at Euro Pound, you guys can see Euro Pound came out of its own finally. It was in a sell area. Obviously, it came out on the 30th on Monday. It is pushing back down again. It didn't make it all the way through. Yeah, it's a little old. It's so fine. I mean, it's the same thing. It hasn't changed. It's all the same stuff. It's still moving its way down. We'll see. I think it'll continue to push down. Like I said, now that we have Brexit moving along, I think all it does is it can just bring us, pound strength. Nope, you would be wrong on that one. Was not Ryan. It was another person. He's not from this country. He's from another country, actually. All right. So yeah, I would say I'd stay consistent with this one. Back to the down. Profit target on this will be back down to this 83.08. Again, once everything comes back online, remember January is the exit, the hard exit. Whether there's a deal or there's not a deal. Although I did see a news article. Where did I see it? I saw something about how the UK is looking for an extension. I was like, oh, there's no way the UK is going to, or not the UK, I'm sorry. The European Union was actually looking for an extension for the hard exit. And I was like, there is absolutely no way the UK is giving them a is giving them an extension. No way. Like they are coming out one way or the other. Doesn't matter. No, I can't find it. I was scrolling through. Man, I knew it was in here somewhere. Man, if I could find it, I'll post it again. But yeah, basically it was like, the European Union, is looking to seek an extension on Brexit. I was like, nope, not happening. So we'll see. So yeah, so I think that will come back down again by the time Brexit comes, it will be back down again. I see this could be like a next week type thing. So that's something I'll be looking for on Sunday, definitely without a doubt. Looking at Euro Yen. All right. This one did the same thing. We had this daily zone marked off. You guys can see it came up here. And you guys remember we marked off that little zone over here? Well, I can extend this zone here. I'll just do the line so you guys don't think I'm cheating on it here. Oop, where is it? There you go. And actually, there's the top of the zone. Okay. Here, we'll change this to. There you go. How about that? That bottom one was the bottom here. Remember we talked about shrinking the zone? You guys see this box up here? There's this little box right here. That's what we hit, and it went all the way back, basically back down to the level of basing. So again, there was another little trade there. I don't know if anybody took the euro yen. I believe somebody did actually. I think actually somebody got it. Okay, I'll send it to you. There you go. It should ring a bell. He was the one that actually created it. All right, so yeah, so definitely still bearish this position. I think this will come back down again. Yeah. All right, looking at euro dollar. So euro dollar obviously is up 13 in 24 hours, really not a whole lot. This one is ground a little bit higher. Now, again, it did go into an area of daily supply. Okay, again, I will push this line across, and you guys can see kind of like we're right there, right? Actually, this little flare up. I have to be able to check. I don't know if we can see it over here. Stop hitting the space bar. What are you doing? Yeah, it's the one that's a little bit harder to kind of pick out. It's going to be probably there, but I don't know. There's an area just right above it as well. So this red line is good because this one came right up to it. So probably have to say that spot. And then you can see about how close we are. So again, definitely bearish this position as well. And again, this would be bringing dollar strength back into the market, which I think I think will definitely be a possibility. And actually, and that's not true. I should say this. In this case, I don't so much see dollar strength as I would see European weakness, if that makes sense. It's nice to say that, oh, this would be strong dollar. Like, no, 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 this would be European weakness, which would obviously bring the strength back into the dollar and bring this back to the downside. So, yeah, I see this coming back down and coming back down to this 110.76. We'll see how long it takes to get back down into that area. A safe profit target, once you can get a confirmation of the downside, would probably be 110, 111. Okay. Looking at pound dollar. Yeah, he does. He does. I haven't talked to him in a while, though. This thing's sucking back. So interesting way, when this left that area, it did form a nice little base here. We marked those two areas off. I would say that those are probably still valid areas that we want to kind of look out for. I'll extend it across, but again, we have one there, and then we have another kind of in that area. Again, we'd want to refine those two areas, but we just want to keep note of those because those are both above where current price is. That first one is located at 145.30. So if you wanted to throw an alert on there to be notified when we do get to that area, that wouldn't be a bad place to do it. Is at 130.45. Okay. As far as anything long, there's really nothing until we get down into really kind of in this area here, right? I'll just box it off. This area here would be where there'd be something. Okay. Now, what I'm looking at in this area here is, again, nice kind of burst off of it. God, you had what? 100 pip move in 8 hours. And last time we saw price come back down again, it rally, impulse, retrace, impulse, retrace, boom, and then came and retested the same exact area. So, not a bad little spot right there. That's one I'm going to mark off as well. That'd be for the upside. Looking at 142, 142.80. Again, mark that off. So again, we are in between those two areas, but here I'll put lines on there so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's going to be there at 142.80 and 143.30 are the two that you're looking at. Okay, change those to black and kind of box those two off for you. All right, I gotta write these two down. All right, I can just come back to it. Let's go across a pound dollar. All right, so these three levels. We're entering. We ended up getting to the one before the whole kind of break happened. Like you guys can see, there's one, there's two, and there's three. So we're kind of sitting right at that level right now for some type of a short. It looks like if we extend this across, okay, this could be one that if you're interested in taking this one overnight, let's see, the risk on this is about 36 pips, so it's not the smallest of risk zones. Let's see if we can shrink that at all. No. I could probably shrink it and cut it in about half. I don't know. I don't know that I'd touch that one too much. I don't know. What I'd probably do is see if we can get some type of a confirmation entry. If we can get, let's see, let's drop this down to like a 15-minute. There's not enough right now. It's just going sideways. If we get any type of a retrace back up again, as long as it doesn't go higher, then a close below this one would be an entry for me. So look for some type of a retrace up in green, have it not go as high as this red. If it breaches the top of this red, then it's a no trade. Just skip it. But if we get something in this area here before, like say it goes to the black line and then comes back down as soon as we have a close below here, that would be what my total risk is on the trade. And then I'll obviously take that thing short to the downside. I mean, here's going to be a little bit of a bump over here, but I think, down to this 132, again, it's it's a round number, so you got to be careful with that one. But most likely, again, make sure you get your 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio out of that one. Most likely down here at 131.50-ish area is probably where I put the profit target on that one. Somewhere probably somewhere down in this area. Maybe not even that far. Again, the ideal place would be if we can get into, a risk level somewhere in here of like 20, 25. And then you're looking at that's 3-1 is right. Whoops. No, right there. So I was a little bit off. Just a little bit off. A tiny, tiny bit. So you'd have your profit target here. Oh, again, that is something that, again, if it's still back in that range and it does make sense, that could be some type of a native trade as well. I'm not going to look at pound New Zealand yet. We'll go to dollar Swiss. That would definitely need some time to kind of marinate there. This one's going to be hard too. There's really not a whole lot in this one. We did breach through this though, which is nice. We had this down at 96.60 and it went just below. But again, it did it on New Year's Eve. So I guess New Year's morning. It did New Year's morning. So let's see. It's going to be the something is some type of a buy. And again, that's based off of this daily demand zone. Top side, 16. Kind of middle of the road one there. I just wait until this one comes back up into this. Just play it that way. It doesn't go up time frames, but it goes down time. Put the options in. All right, dollar CAD. So let's see. I don't think. Let's see. Is there any Canadian news on Friday? No, it looks like we don't have any Canadian news. Try to see if we can get much out of this one. Now, again, this one drove through. It did finally blow through this bottom section, which is nice. So now we know that that zone is completely gone. What? I'll see what we do here. Okay, this kind of took a bounce after this big drop and then just kind of stopped, right? It kind of flatlined at this little level of basing. So it didn't actually quite make it as high. It, like missed it by like a pip or two on this little entry here before the market basically shut down. I'd like to see what this one does from here. So, we're sitting right now here. Nice, super clean. I mean, you obviously have this, right? So you have this area right here, this single wick against a wall, right? Which leads us right into, I mean, basically it's two singles in a row. But the last time price was down here at 129.34 is when we kind of saw this thing popping away. So that's kind of what we're looking at. You guys can see the area over here. Okay, and again, very large area. Okay, we have to see kind of what it looks like when we actually approach. I don't even know. So we'll have to see how it reacts when it comes through that area. That could definitely be an area that we're looking for confirmation bounce if we don't get that bounce anyway. Okay? Like I said, 129 is rather low on this one. Last time it was actually down here was October of 2018. So been a while, right? We'll see how that one plays out, though. I don't necessarily love it right now where it is. Again, we'll see when U.S. traders come online where this one is go. But again, if we have that dollar strength we've talked about, that, and again, the dollar was lagging, but if the dollar comes back in, again, we will see this come back up again and breach back over into the 130s. And again, I think, if this starts moving to the top side until like 130.75-ish, about 100 pips from where we are, I don't see there being too much resistance for it to go back up that high. But in essence, again, that's kind of smack in the middle. I'm still thinking that really before I want to get truly short again, I'll be up in the 131.60-ish range. I think that will give us the kind of biggest piece, to the top side, right? Anything in here, it's kind of just it's holiday stuff, so I'm not as worried about it. Looking at dollar yen. So dollar yen will be very interesting tomorrow. And the reason why I see dollar yen being interesting tomorrow is just because with the U.S. stock market coming back online and people, saying, okay, I can buy, right? All your tax rolled positions that you got out of that you wanted to get back into. I mean, obviously there's regulations about those things. But for people that wanted to kind of cash out and have rollovers and things like that, again, tomorrow's the day that you're going to start seeing a lot of those orders and things go in. So this one may kind of bounce around. Now, looking as far as the curve goes, I mentioned earlier, yes, we are definitely down here inside of a demand zone. It did bounce a little bit, and again, we got a green, a red, and a bit of a green before we closed, and then it kind of went higher. We were kind of wedged in with this little supply zone right here. So, again, we are on the bottom side. You guys can see if you drew somewhat of a channel here, and again, not hard to draw and see this channel because again, we bounce the top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, and then we're down at the bottom again. It's looking like we want to go long again to the top side. And again, eventual profit targets this one, obviously back up into the 109.50 range, about 90 pips from where we are right now. But we'll see kind of where, again, I want to see where U.S. buyers come in tomorrow. Okay. Again, with the market coming back online being the first day of trading, I expect that this will be a good day. Now, again, tomorrow typically is an up day, just because, again, with everybody buying and, the positivity in the market, I would assume we'd have a good day. Like I said, I know there's a lot of statistics for tomorrow. The first trading day of the year, if it's good, the year tends to be good. If it's bad, and like last year's was good, I think we were up like 20 or 22% or something like that. So, we'll see. I always love, I, I always think it's funny the people that claim those things. Oh, you know what? The market's going to be up this year because it was great on the first day. It's like, there's a lot that could happen, and with, election, I mean, there's an election next year. So yeah, it could be all over the place. Nobody actually really has an idea, but it's always nice when people say, no, it's supposed to do this. Okay, it's supposed to do that. So we'll see, right? We'll see where this one goes tomorrow. And last but not least, let's go over to CAD Yen, and then we'll call it quits for tonight. Like I said, with no trading today, it's kind of, like I said, the market needs to breathe a little bit, right? So you guys can see on the 4 hour, we're definitely in an area, price shot up. And again, you'd be thinking retracement. It's still up at that upper level right now. We went just above, if I draw a line, actually, I'll just take this and put it on the top. You guys can see we went right above with that spike. Again, being that high, again, people know it's kind of a support and trap. It's kind of set to go to the downside. So for me on this one, I'm kind of looking at this one to come down into $50 pips to the downside. So I think, again, no CAD news, so there's not a lot of catalyst. This one is all going to be based off the yen. Again, tomorrow, if there's a lot of buying, a lot of people, we start hearing things about good results of December. Again, that'll be the catalyst that drives us down, that yen strength, not necessarily the CAD weakness, but yen strength in this one. Again, actually having not a bad day tomorrow. Again, first trading day and all that, I think it'll be probably pretty good. But a lot of that's going to be from the dollar. So, yeah, I'm bearish on this one. I'm definitely not bullish right now. I'll look at it a little bit deeper tomorrow. said, it's our first one back. We got to have all the markets open. This is like not even like a Sunday night situation. This is just people are just not even doing anything. You know, we'll wait to see what U.S. banks and everything coming back online tomorrow looks like. And tomorrow night we'll basically, we'll be able to look to see if we have any type of trading opportunities with Friday morning's ISM manufacturing and FOMC being on a Friday and 2:33. Basically at 3:30 p.m. is when Kaplan speaks. I don't know how much I don't know how much swing that will have. It could potentially make the morning a little bit shy, but I don't know. Hopefully the ISM manufacturing will be a trader's first kind of like taste of news releases in 2020, and that gives us a big bump. So, all right. So let's go do the giveaway. I will give you guys like another minute. When this says 55, I know there's a bit of a delay. That way everybody gets in. When it says 55, I will go ahead and shut it down, and I will give out the pip chips for the night. So again, just so you guys are aware as well, inside of here, there's the two different things. There is the spread, the candle close timer. I use this a lot when I'm trying to establish orders. That's the one that's in the upper right-hand corner. It is, if you guys can see it, it's this thing up here. Basically, let's see, I can make it. I thought there was like a. No, it's not gonna let me do it. I thought there was a way to make this one bigger, but I guess not. Not in here. Neat. Yes, there is. That's what it looks like. It's basically telling you how long till the end of the close. Again, if you like 5-minute strategies, this is nice to have when you're doing the 5-minute strategy as well, because it tells you, basically gives you the countdown. It also is nice too with news time because it tells you what the current spread is. Okay, why is that important? Because when the spread is big, it's a no-no. When the spread is small, it's a good one. Okay, so that's why I like to have this on my chart so I know when the spread kind of shrinks back again. Crazy looking at it. Okay, but that's what that is. No, I don't need to see that. That's what that is in here. Again, this is going to be jumping. I said I would change it. So you guys haven't used your pip chips, it may be a time to cash them in because I am going to change this one around and make this more expensive. Just because there are ways to buy bits and things like that, which are a lot cheaper than what the time is. Again, I'm going to be adding another indicator that I use over here if you guys want. And again, these are small. It's like 100 pip chips. You guys can get that in like a night or 2 nights of being on the channel. So, but I'm going to add more resources that I find up here that I find helpful for you guys. So you can spend those pip chips. How do we go into the store again for this? I believe if you click, if you look down at the bottom of this Twitch window, you can see it says there's the leaderboard. I think if you go over to the there, I think like when you click on the left-hand corner, there's a stream elements thing. It'll take you to the store. Or maybe that's yours, but I think maybe if you click mine, I don't know. Ryan did it. I think you do. That works. There, and go to the store also. That's how you'd be able to redeem them. And then what I do is when I see a redemption, I will go ahead inside of oh yeah, over here it says redemptions. As you guys get them, I am able to kind of get them and then click them off and send them to you. So Sean's doing a bit of mentoring with his, and he's actually all set up. And then after I have my mentoring session with Sean, then I'll come in here and I'll check this just so I make sure I didn't miss anything. He actually got the indicator too, and I sent it to him and checked it off, so he should have had it. All right. Yeah, you can link it through here. Like if you do like exclamation point store also or exclamation point redemption, it does something also. Yeah, I don't know. I can probably add the store thing. See, it's different because I'm logged in already, so whenever I click anything, it automatically gives it to me. That was a Malware 30-minute trader. Yeah, it's a handy little tool. Yeah. An item XXX. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me because I'm already logged in. So when I do it, it's already there. All right, guys, it's 2 minutes after, so everybody should be in. I'm going to close the giveaway, and the first winner of the year is Vanessa. with a 9% chance of winning. She takes it home tonight. I will mark this one as complete. Here, let's see, even there. Go. And Vanessa, I don't know if you're still on or not, but when do you guys get back? I don't know if you're back yet or not. They didn't want to send anything your direction if you weren't there yet. And with moving, I'm not sure exactly where you're already there. Oh, and just for the record, I'm gonna call myself on it, guys. I was trying to send the presents out, and I tried to send Wes's present out to him. Um, and I made so basically like the present is not light, but when you purchase it, it's free shipping. So it costs like half as much as what it costs to ship it. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna order him another one. Well, I didn't double check it, so guess what showed up at the door 2 days ago for me, or 3 days ago? Yep, Wes's present. I was like, oh. So yeah, so Wes has a present that's in delivery. I think actually I got the shipping notice today. I think it'll be there in the next like couple days. Maybe by Monday, Wes will have his present. Ernest, I haven't sent yours in the mail yet. James, same thing. I have your two here. I just need to go to the post office to actually do it. I just didn't leave the house today, but I'll do it tomorrow, hopefully. So, with that being said, guys, I am out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. I will be on Discord tomorrow during the day. I will be trading in the morning. So if you guys need anything, shoot me a message on Discord, and I will catch you then. You guys take care, and I'll see you then.